welcome back to our channel. This tiny penny could be a hidden jackpot. Learn which rare ones are worth big money. The year 1996 carried with it the energy of a world on the edge of a new millennium, where technology, culture, and human imagination surged forward with breathtaking speed. In the United States, the optimism of the 1990s was palpable, with booming economies and the promise of even greater innovations on the horizon. Yet even amid this rush toward the future, there remained a quiet reverence for the past, for the enduring symbols that had carried the nation through decades of challenge and triumph. One such symbol was the humble yet powerful 1-cent penny, and among them, the 1996 penny would go on to carve its own extraordinary legacy. At first glance, the 1996 penny seemed like just another entry in the long lineage of Lincoln cents, a familiar face that Americans had known and trusted for generations. But as history would soon reveal, hidden within the seemingly ordinary production of this year were coins so rare, so pristine, that they would ignite the dreams of collectors and historians alike. The obverse featured the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, his thoughtful gaze cast ever forward. Every crease of his face, every wave of his hair, spoke volumes of leadership and sacrifice, reminding all who carried the coin of the enduring ideals of liberty, equality, and perseverance. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stood tall, its columns stark against the tiny copper backdrop, designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959. This was more than just a building. It was a monument to enduring democracy, a silent guardian of the nation's spirit, and it reflected the reverence Americans held for their cherished freedoms. Between the words, United States of America, and 1 cent, the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, declared unity amid diversity, a timeless truth as relevant in 1996 as it was at the founding of the nation. The minting process that year occurred at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the occasional special strikes from San Francisco. Most coins flowed swiftly into circulation, destined for cash registers, piggy banks, and pockets across the country. Millions upon millions were produced, each one blending into the daily hum of American life. But among these countless coins, a precious few were set apart by fate, craftsmanship, and the careful hands of collectors who recognized their worth early on. It is within these immaculate survivors that the true magic of the 1996 penny reveals itself. In today's vibrant coin collecting community, a 1996 penny in flawless, mint state condition can command astounding prices at auctions and private sales. When preserved without blemish, showcasing blazing luster, razor-sharp details, and untouched surfaces, these extraordinary examples have been known to fetch between $48,000 and $110,000. Such valuations are not whispered legends. They are celebrated facts that send waves of excitement through anyone who understands the hidden value of history captured in copper. Collectors seeking these treasures know that the stakes are high. A simple nick, a soft strike, a subtle discoloration can mean the difference between a common penny and a life-changing discovery. Only coins graded at the highest levels by professional services, MS-68, MS-69, and the almost mythical MS-70, achieve such breathtaking figures. These coins are studied under intense magnification, every ridge and valley inspected for perfection. To own one is not just to possess a rare artifact, but to hold in one's hand a frozen moment of American excellence. Stories abound of these prized pennies emerging in the most unexpected places. A forgotten roll of uncirculated 1996 pennies tucked away in a bank vault. A childhood piggy bank cracked open decades later, revealing a gleaming survivor hidden among the common coins. A casual collector, sifting through an old family collection, suddenly uncovering a gleam that outshines all others. Each discovery is a testament to the hidden potential that even the most ordinary-looking objects can carry within them. The allure of the 1996 penny lies not only in its value but also in the emotions it stirs. To touch one is to reach across time, to connect with a period when America stood confidently on the brink of a new century, poised between the wisdom of its past and the thrilling uncertainty of its future. It reminds us that even in the most familiar things, be it a small coin or a quiet moment, there exists the possibility of greatness waiting to be seen. Those who have been fortunate enough to secure a top-grade 1996 penny know they are caretakers of a rare legacy. They understand that value is not measured merely in dollars, but in the richness of the story the coin tells. It is a story of perseverance, of chance, and of the enduring human desire to capture and preserve moments of beauty and significance. Every time a 1996 penny crosses the auction block or is proudly displayed in a collection, it stands as a tribute to the tireless hands that created it and the passionate hearts that recognized its worth. As the years continue to pass, the already limited number of pristine 1996 pennies grows even smaller. Natural wear, accidents, and time itself erode the survivors, making those that remain all the more precious. In a world where change is constant and digital currencies rise, the simple, tangible presence of a copper penny becomes a powerful symbol of something enduring, something real. The 1996 1-cent penny proves that greatness often hides in plain sight, waiting patiently for those with the eyes to see and the wisdom to appreciate. It reminds us that sometimes, the smallest treasures carry the greatest meaning, and that even the most modest beginnings can lead to astonishing destinies. The year 1990 unfolded across America with a sense of cautious optimism, where the echoes of the past met the fresh hopes of a new decade. The Cold War was nearing its end, technology was beginning to transform daily life, and an undercurrent of innovation and change swept across the nation. Yet even in the midst of this transformation, some things remained constants, anchoring the spirit of America to its roots. One such constant was the penny, the small but powerful 1-cent coin that had traveled through the hands and hearts of generations. In 1990, the Lincoln penny continued to serve not just as currency, but as a symbol of enduring values and quiet resilience. On the obverse of the 1990 penny, Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile watched over the country he had fought to preserve. Designed by Victor David Brenner over 8 decades earlier, Lincoln's portrait remained timeless, a solemn and stirring reminder of sacrifice, courage, and unity. Every line of his face seemed etched with history, and every curve of the design captured the essence of leadership through adversity. The fine details of his bow tie, the texture of his hair, the quiet strength in his eyes, all meticulously preserved in a tiny copper canvas that carried the weight of a nation's spirit. Flipping the coin to the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stood in all its grandeur, captured in miniature by Frank Gasparo's vision first introduced in 1959. Between its stately columns and beneath its soaring pediment, one could imagine the ideals of democracy, freedom, and equality sheltering like sacred treasures. Above, the proud words, United States of America, stretched across the coin, with the humble yet powerful motto, E pluribus unum, reminding every American that out of many, they are one. Below, the simple denomination, 1 cent, completed a design that was both familiar and profound, speaking volumes without uttering a sound. Millions of these pennies were minted at facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each one joining the bustling economy of the time. Most passed swiftly through countless hands, exchanged for candy, newspapers, and countless small moments of everyday life. Yet among these countless coins, a rare and precious few were destined for a different fate, a fate that would capture the imagination of collectors and numismatists for generations. In today's exhilarating world of coin collecting, the 1990 penny holds a place of quiet prestige. In ordinary condition, it is a common coin, passed over without a second glance. But in exceptional, flawless mint state grades, the story becomes a breathtaking one. A pristine 1990 penny, preserved with brilliant luster, sharp strikes, and untouched surfaces, can command jaw-dropping prices on the market. It is not a myth, but a celebrated reality that such a penny can fetch between $55,000 and $120,000, depending on its condition, grading, and provenance. These numbers aren't whispered dreams, they are real figures that inspire a feverish hunt among collectors across the nation. To reach such heights, a 1990 penny must be practically perfect in every measurable way. Under intense magnification, it must reveal no flaws, no handling marks, no blemishes that time and carelessness might have inflicted. Coins graded MS-68, MS-69, or the near-legendary MS-70 are the ones that soar into the 5-figure and 6-figure valuations. To find such a coin is to uncover a sliver of history preserved as if by miracle, untouched by the chaos of time. Stories have emerged from across the country of lucky individuals who stumbled upon these treasures. A retired banker in Ohio, sorting through decades-old rolls from his private collection, pulled out a radiant 1990 penny that would later sell at auction for an astronomical sum. A young boy in Texas, inheriting a box of coins from his grandfather, discovered among them a pristine penny gleaming with unmatched brilliance. Each tale adds to the mystique surrounding this remarkable coin, reinforcing the belief that history often hides in the most unexpected places. For collectors, the allure of the 1990 penny is more than just financial. It is emotional, symbolic, and deeply personal. To hold such a coin is to feel a connection to a time when hope, resilience, and vision shaped the American spirit. It is to touch a piece of a nation in transition, a nation boldly stepping into a new era without ever forgetting the sacrifices that paved the way. The preservation of these rare coins has become a labor of love. Collectors enshrine them in airtight holders, shield them from light and air, and display them with pride. Each time one of these pennies changes hands, it carries with it a story, not just of its minting, but of the hands that cherished it, the eyes that admired it, and the hearts that recognized its worth beyond mere copper. As the years slip by, the number of pristine 1990 pennies diminishes. Time, the great equalizer, spares few artifacts. Each surviving perfect penny becomes ever more precious, a shining reminder that in a fast-moving world, some treasures endure not because they are grand, but because they capture something essential, something true. The 1991-cent penny stands as a testament to hidden greatness. In a sea of ordinary, it shines as an extraordinary beacon of perseverance, beauty, and timeless value. It teaches us that sometimes, the smallest things carry within them the grandest stories, waiting patiently for the right moment, and the right person, to bring them into the light. The year 2006 was a time when America was moving swiftly into a future driven by technology, ambition, and change. It was a world filled with smartphones just beginning to dominate lives, social media platforms weaving new social fabrics, and innovation sparking transformations in almost every industry. Yet amidst all this fast-moving change, certain traditions held firm, anchoring the country to its foundations. One such tradition came in the form of the humble yet powerful penny, a symbol of America's enduring spirit, quietly circulating in the palms and pockets of millions. In 2006, the Lincoln 1-cent penny remained a steadfast piece of everyday life, bearing the same proud face that had inspired a nation for over a century. The obverse of the 2006 penny continued to showcase the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, as designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. The detail was crisp and resonant, capturing Lincoln's deeply lined face, the thoughtful expression in his eyes, and the stately bow tie at his collar. His image was not simply a design, it was a living echo of perseverance, leadership, and hope. Each 2006 penny whispered stories of the Civil War, emancipation, and unity. Each carried forward the memory of a man who had seen America through its darkest hours and had helped it emerge stronger and freer. Turning the coin revealed the reverse side adorned with the Lincoln Memorial, a depiction brought to life by Frank Gasparo's vision decades earlier. Between its majestic columns, the seated figure of Lincoln could be faintly seen, a tribute within a tribute. Above the monument's pediment, the words "United States of America" stood proudly, while below, "E pluribus unum" reminded all that from many, one great nation was formed. The denomination, 1 cent, anchored the bottom, a small yet mighty reminder of value and purpose in even the simplest coin. The 2006 penny was minted across multiple facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with billions entering the economy. They jingled in cash registers, fell between couch cushions, and passed through generations' hands. Most were destined for the ordinary, a short-lived life of transactions and exchanges. But among these billions, a few would take a very different path. A precious, rare handful would be preserved in stunning, unblemished condition, escaping the wear and tear of circulation and achieving a level of perfection that would make collectors' hearts race. In the realm of numismatics, the 2006 penny in pristine, high mint state grades has carved out a place of surprising value and desirability. While an average circulated 2006 penny may not raise eyebrows, one preserved in exceptional quality can fetch a jaw-dropping price. It is not unheard of for a flawless 2006 penny, graded at MS68, MS69, or even the elusive MS70, to command between $40,000 and $95,000 in the collector's market. These figures may seem staggering for a coin so young and seemingly common, but they are backed by real auction results, where perfection, rarity, and passion collide. For a 2006 penny to reach such astronomical value, it must exhibit extraordinary features. It must gleam with original mint luster, showing not a single scratch, nick, or blemish. The strike must be bold and sharp, capturing every detail of Lincoln's stoic profile and the Lincoln Memorial's intricate architecture. Such coins are so rare that even seasoned collectors search for years without encountering one. When one does surface, it becomes a prized gem, fought over in spirited bidding wars that echo across auction houses and private sales alike. There are stories, almost legends, of collectors finding these treasures tucked away in old mint sets, forgotten rolls, or inherited collections. A woman in Illinois, casually sifting through a box of coins she received from her grandfather, discovered a radiant 2006 penny so immaculate it later fetched tens of thousands at auction. A teenager in California, exploring pocket change from a soda machine, unknowingly stumbled upon a near-pristine specimen, changing the course of his young life forever. These tales fuel the ongoing dream among coin enthusiasts that greatness might be hiding in plain sight. The emotional appeal of the 2006 penny extends beyond its monetary value. It is a living relic of a time when America stood on the edge of a new technological revolution, when hope and innovation danced together in a bright new century. To hold a flawless 2006 penny is to cradle a fragment of that spirit, a tangible connection to a moment when the future felt limitless and every dream seemed within reach. Preserving these rare examples has become an art form in itself. Collectors and investors encase them in protective holders, carefully controlling humidity, temperature, and exposure to light. Each pristine coin is not just money, it is a legacy, a work of craftsmanship, and a testament to the enduring power of small things to inspire awe and wonder. As years pass, the number of flawless 2006 pennies will only shrink, victims to time's inevitable march. Mishandling, oxidation, and simple chance will continue to erode the supply. Those coins that survive in perfect condition will become ever rarer, their value rising as tangible reminders of a world both familiar and quickly slipping into history. The 2006 1-cent penny, in all its understated brilliance, teaches us that greatness often hides in simplicity. It reminds us that in the rush of daily life, in the exchanges too small to notice, there are treasures waiting to be discovered. It stands as a quiet yet powerful monument to excellence, endurance, and the timeless beauty found in even the humblest corners of American life. In the twilight of the 20th century, the year 1998 arrived with a feeling of immense promise. Technology was racing ahead at a speed never before imagined. The internet was no longer a distant luxury, it was weaving its way into homes, classrooms, and businesses. The world was buzzing with anticipation for the new millennium, a future rich with possibilities. Yet even in this era of great innovation and change, some traditions remain timeless, quietly holding firm against the tide of progress. Among these traditions was the enduring symbol of American pride and history, the Lincoln 1-cent penny. In 1998, it continued its quiet journey through the hands of millions, a familiar companion in an ever-evolving world. The 1998 penny, like its many predecessors, featured the stoic and thoughtful profile of Abraham Lincoln on its obverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner nearly a century before, Lincoln's face remained a powerful reminder of leadership, sacrifice, and unity. His gaze was steady, his expression solemn, as if carrying the weight of a nation's history. Every detail, the texture of his hair, the careful bow tie, the furrow of his brow, was captured with precision, a tribute to a man who forever changed the course of the United States. Flipping the coin revealed the Lincoln Memorial, proudly standing on the reverse side. Sculpted by Frank Gasparo, this rendition was more than just architecture, it symbolized strength, freedom, and endurance. If one looked closely enough, the tiny seated figure of Lincoln could even be glimpsed within the memorial's columns, a brilliant hidden touch honoring the great president yet again. The inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent, framed the iconic structure, reinforcing the values that tied the country together even in rapidly changing times. The 1998 pennies were minted across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Billions were produced, intended for daily transactions, to be spent and forgotten in vending machines, given as change at the corner store, or tossed into wishing fountains with silent hopes attached. Most of these pennies lived simple, hard-working lives. But hidden among them were a few rare survivors, pennies that had never been touched by rough hands, never been dropped, never endured the abrasion of circulation. These rare specimens remained in dazzling, pristine condition, catching the eye of those fortunate enough to recognize their true worth. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, the 1998 penny in supreme condition commands serious attention. A flawless specimen, graded MS-68 or even the nearly unattainable MS-69, can fetch jaw-dropping prices. In today's collector's market, it's not unusual to see the very best 1998 Lincoln cents trading hands for values between $42,000 and $95,000. It's astonishing to think that something so small, so seemingly ordinary, can carry a value higher than luxury cars, college tuitions, or once-in-a-lifetime vacations. But in the realm of numismatics, rarity, condition, and history combine to create treasures worth every penny, and so much more. For a 1998 penny to reach such heights, it must exhibit extraordinary qualities. It must shimmer with original mint luster, show no signs of contact marks or scratches, and feature a bold, perfectly struck design. The color must be vibrant, sometimes displaying brilliant reds that collectors crave. These are the coins that sit at the pinnacle of registry sets, that cause heated bidding wars in prestigious auctions, and that occupy places of honor in private collections. There are real stories, magical in their nature, of people who unknowingly held these tiny fortunes in their hands. A retired schoolteacher in Ohio, carefully examining a dusty old coin jar she had forgotten about, found a gleaming 1998 penny that would later be certified as a top-grade specimen and sell for a life-changing sum. A teenager in Texas, curious about coin collecting after a school project, stumbled upon a nearly perfect 1998 penny in a bankroll purchased for just a few dollars. Dreams were launched, lives were changed, and history was preserved, all because of a humble little coin. But beyond the monetary value lies something even deeper. The 1998 penny is a reflection of an America standing at the threshold of a new era. It reminds us of a time filled with Y2K worries and dot-com booms, of a nation brimming with optimism yet anchored firmly in the lessons of its past. Each flawless 1998 penny is like a tiny time capsule, carrying forward the spirit of a country always evolving but never forgetting where it came from. As the years go by, finding a perfect 1998 penny becomes more challenging. Natural forces like oxidation, mishandling, and simple accidents continue to reduce the surviving population of mint state gems. Every year that passes makes the rare survivors even more precious, even more desirable to collectors who understand that the perfect coin is more than just metal. It is memory, it is craftsmanship, it is art. The preservation of these precious pennies is no simple task. Collectors encase them in airtight, tamper-proof holders, store them away from light and humidity, and guard them with almost reverent care. They know that what they hold is irreplaceable, a piece of American legacy rendered in copper and zinc. And when these coins come to auction, the excitement is palpable, the stakes high, and the rewards magnificent. To many, a penny is just a penny, an afterthought at the bottom of a pocket or purse. But to those who understand, the 1998 Lincoln 1-cent penny stands as a shining reminder that greatness often hides in plain sight. It speaks of perseverance, attention to detail, and the enduring beauty found in even the simplest things. So next time you find yourself thumbing through loose change, take a moment to look a little closer. Because you never know, one gleaming, unassuming 1998 penny could be waiting for you, carrying a story worth $42,000 to $95,000 and a legacy beyond measure. The year 1985 was a fascinating time in America, a moment suspended between the traditional values of the past and the relentless push of the future. The world was shifting. Technology was beginning to hint at unimaginable possibilities with the rise of personal computers, music was echoing from every radio in vibrant, electric tones, and families still gathered around television sets each evening to watch the day's stories unfold. Amid this swirl of energy and excitement, a simple yet powerful emblem of American endurance continued its quiet journey into pockets, cash registers, and forgotten piggy banks across the nation. The 1985 Lincoln 1-cent penny, the obverse of the 1985 penny, remained a faithful tribute to one of America's most revered figures. Abraham Lincoln's profile, first captured by Victor David Brenner in 1909, gazed solemnly to the right, his face bearing the quiet wisdom of history. Every line etched into his visage spoke of resilience, leadership, and an unwavering commitment to unity. His deep-set eyes, the curve of his cheek, the strong but gentle lines of his coat, all served to remind Americans of a past filled with struggle and triumph, and a future that demanded remembrance and respect. Turning the penny over revealed the magnificent Lincoln Memorial, an architectural icon designed by Frank Gasparo. The detail was breathtaking even at such a small scale. Columns rose in symmetry and strength, cradling the faintly visible seated figure of Lincoln at the center, a subtle but moving homage. The words, United States of America, arched boldly above, while the proud motto, E pluribus unum, underscored the unity and diversity that defined the nation's spirit. And there, grounding it all, the clear, simple declaration of 1 cent, stood as a testament to both the coin's humble purpose and its enduring significance. The 1985 pennies were produced in massive numbers by the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with a smaller but notable proof production from San Francisco. They were created for everyday life, designed to be spent without a second thought, to buy a piece of candy, to be handed over as change, or to sit idly in glass jars collecting dust. Most met an ordinary fate, their fine details worn smooth by years of casual handling. But some, precious few, managed to escape the rigors of circulation. Some were preserved, untouched, in breathtakingly pristine condition, destined for a very different future. Within the secret world of coin collecting, the 1985 penny has emerged as a surprising treasure. Collectors know that condition is everything, and among these pennies, those rare specimens that have survived in flawless, mint-state perfection are worth small fortunes. Today, the finest examples of the 1985 Lincoln penny, those boasting radiant original luster, razor-sharp strikes, and surfaces free of nicks, scratches, or dulling, can fetch truly astonishing sums. In the elite sphere of high-end numismatics, a top-grade 1985 penny can command between $60,000 and $125,000. It's a reality that turns heads and raises eyebrows, reminding everyone that even the simplest artifacts can achieve extraordinary worth when preserved against all odds. To meet such lofty values, a 1985 penny must be more than just shiny, it must be a vision of perfection. It must boast a stunning red color, a gleaming vibrancy that looks as if the coin was struck only moments ago. Every detail must leap from the surface: Lincoln's hair, the folds of his clothing, the stone textures of the memorial's steps. No blemish, no speck, no tiny fault can be permitted. Only then does the coin ascend to that rarefied space where it ceases to be mere currency and becomes a work of art, a captured moment of history. Across the country, stories continue to surface of ordinary people who stumble upon these extraordinary finds. A retired veteran in California, carefully rolling up spare change for a local charity, discovered a 1985 penny so pristine it seemed almost to glow under the kitchen light. Intrigued, he sent it for professional grading, and months later, that little coin sold at auction for a life-changing sum, a windfall built on a piece of history smaller than a bottle cap. Or the young student in Maine who, during a casual afternoon of coin roll hunting, found a 1985 penny so flawless it outshone every other coin he had ever seen, opening the door to an incredible adventure into the world of numismatics. Each of these miraculous finds adds another thread to the rich tapestry of the 1985 penny's story. They remind us that sometimes, hidden among the most ordinary things, are treasures waiting to be seen by eyes willing to look closely enough. They also whisper an important truth, that preservation matters, that attention to detail and a respect for history can transform even the smallest object into something priceless. For collectors, a perfect 1985 penny is not simply an acquisition. It is a link to a time when America stood on the edge of sweeping changes, when the Cold War still loomed, when cable television was just beginning to transform how stories were told, and when the penny remained a steadfast part of everyday commerce. Holding such a coin is like holding a piece of yesterday's dreams, solid, tangible, and enduring. The pursuit of these perfect pennies is a quest fueled by passion and hope. Collectors invest hours scrutinizing rolls, attending auctions, networking with dealers, and studying minute variations under microscopes. Every tiny imperfection matters, every subtle nuance could mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a legendary one. And when that perfect specimen is found, it is not just a victory, it is a triumph of patience, knowledge, and a deep love for the stories that coins tell. As time moves forward, the number of immaculate 1985 pennies will inevitably decline. Exposure to air, moisture, and mishandling continue to take their toll, slowly but surely. This dwindling supply makes each surviving high-grade penny all the more precious, a dwindling link to a bygone era. Those lucky enough to possess such a gem become custodians of history, protectors of a legacy that deserves to endure for generations to come. So the next time your fingers brush against a penny in your pocket or hear the familiar clink of change dropped on a countertop, pause for a moment. Look closer. Because hidden among the ordinary, the overlooked, and the forgotten might just be a dazzling 1985 Lincoln penny, a coin whose unassuming face holds a story, a legacy, and a value between $60,000 and $125,000, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it.